Relationship with God, relationship with God. Now, this is really just a transparent message. It is spiritual as well, me being spiritual, me being spiritual in God, humbly speaking and all this deep stuff. Humbly speaking, relationship with God. Um, Relationship with Him is, how do I want to say this? Like, it's truly not for everybody. If I'm being real, I'm being very transparent, and it's not for everybody. If I'm being real, it's not. And I'm gonna get into the details of this by the Spirit of God, and as I'm led by the Spirit of God concerning this, but relationship with God and relationship with Him, you know, and all that deep stuff. Honestly, see, the thing is about relationship with God and stuff like that. See, this the thing about it. As I've mentioned this many times too, um, but God truly does not have interest in everybody. No, He doesn't. He doesn't. And that's what you certain religious people and all you Christian people too. Yes. This definitely applies to you certain you Christian people and you other religious people. You guys don't be understanding these matters and all that stuff, but relationship with God is just not for everybody and all that stuff. No, it's not. And as I'm being led by the Spirit too, relationship with God is also too. It's not for a perfect person or individual or being. No, it's not. It's not. It's really not. And relationship with God is, excuse me, relationship with God is something that everybody just does not get, if I'm being real. And it gets back into like, God truly does not have interest in everybody. Is what I'm trying to, is what I'm trying to emphasize. He doesn't have interest in everybody. So with that being said, you're not going to just get a relationship with God. No, that's the thing about this too. He does have to have interest in you in order for you to have a relationship with Him. That's one big factor of this. And then as I'm getting more in depth with this stuff, relationship with God, like it's not just coming like some easy thing. No, it's not. And I'm gonna get into these matters as well. But as far as relationship with God, if God truly has interest in a certain individual or person, this is not stereotyping anybody, or anything of that nature as well, because God be having relationships with certain individuals, and certain individuals have a relationship with Him. It'd be a lot of just people you least expect and certain beings you least expect. I'm just gonna leave it at that when it comes to a relationship with God. It doesn't matter if they have an illness or anything like that. No. These people be having relationships with God as well. And that's what you got to realize when it comes to God and when it comes to Him and all that stuff and relationship with God. And that's what I'm saying. It has nothing to do with these titles and, if you're a bishop or a prophet or a prophetess and all this stuff. Like, no, instinct. Yeah. Some of them do have a relationship with God, and then others are just behind titles. And God is going to destroy all that stuff too. These titles and these people who are religious, more or less. He's destroying all that stuff even now. But anyhow, relationship with God. If God, it starts off with if God truly has interest in a certain individual or being. And then, relationship with God, it gets into like, just the intimacy and a connection and also a true relationship. Yes. Because God talks back too. That's what you gotta understand about relationship with God. And see, you Christian people, like you religious people, this stuff is not truly for you, if I'm being real. because you guys already think that you're so deep with God. And that's the thing. This goes out to many of you. Very few Christians, I would say, very few Christians truly have a relationship with God. I'm gonna just be real. And then all the rest, majority of these Christians, no, they do not have a relationship with God. And that's the thing. And God wants me to be transparent concerning this stuff, because this stuff is not a game. But anyhow, as I'm truly being led by the Spirit of God, this is not stereotyping anybody. Once again, there's certain people with illnesses that have relationships with God and all this stuff, and certain little kids and all this deep stuff. This stuff is not a game, and you people limit this stuff too. And this is why the God of Israel is going to destroy many things and many people and many atmospheres and places. He's going to continue to and do it on very more high def levels. I just want to leave it at that. High def. He's going to destroy these things. But anyhow, and as he is, but anyhow, relationship with God, it's like, it's a very deep intimacy, and as he's leading me to say these things concerning him, and relationship with him. I mean, you do not have to be a perfect being, but you do have to be a pure soul. Yeah, he's leading me to say that you have to be pure. You have to truly have a relationship with him. You have to be communicating with him deeply, consistently, even as Jesus says, pray without ceasing, that type of thing. Pray without ceasing, and many of you may not know what that means. And then some of you do, and you just need you need more clarification on that, and that's fine, and all that deep stuff. And it's truly just dealing with a serious intimacy and consistency when you are communicating with God, And but anyhow, relationship with God, it's it's not for everybody. Once again, it's not. And God knows also too who he wants to have a relationship with. That's what you gotta understand about God. See, a lot of you people be trying to force God on people and all this stuff. But see, God does not have interest in a lot of these different people. That's what you gotta understand. So they will never have a relationship with God. It doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter how you feel about this message either. It doesn't matter about that. Because I'm just, I'm just doing the true will of God. That's what you gotta understand. I'm not worried about people's emotions and all that stuff, because your emotions is what will have you in hell, and your emotions does not have anything to do with the will of God, is what you gotta understand too. So I will never be into all that stuff, and I never was a part of all that stuff. But anyhow, and I'm just being led by the Spirit saying all these things, everything that I'm saying. But anyhow, relationship with God is deep, because it's not for everybody. And also, you don't have to be perfect to have a relationship with God. No, you don't. But there is levels to this stuff too as well. Yeah, of course. But anyhow, relationship with God is dealing with being spiritual too. That's another thing. Relationship with God is dealing with being spiritual in God. That's the thing. You're not going to have a relationship with God and you're in religion and tradition, and you think that you can't be told anything, and you think you have arrived and all that stuff. No, the relationship with God is not for you, is what I'm telling you. Excuse me. And excuse me. This stuff is not a game though, because a lot of people think that, they just have this relationship with God. But I'm here to tell you that it's not the real matter with that, because God does not have interest in a lot of individuals and beings. That's what you gotta understand. So certain people will never have a relationship with God. But relationship with God is deep. It's deep. And many of you people may be like, am I part of this, having a relationship with God? I mean, I shouldn't even have to say these matters, because you should already know, concerning this. You should already know these certain individuals, and everybody else will just overlook this type of stuff. But, that's not none of my concern. But anyhow, relationship with God is deep because it's spiritual. And then also too, even getting a relationship with God, you're not getting it just by easy task either. No, God, if God has interest in you, then your relationship with God will be like an intimacy that He gives you with Him. But, there is levels to this stuff. Once again, relationship with God. And also, yeah, I mean, you do have to go through, the enemy as well, as I'm being led by the Spirit. You have to go through the enemy, the devil, more or less. And to get to, I want to say, like, higher levels of your relationship with God. Yes, of course, of course. That's the thing about this stuff, because this stuff is truly not a game, and this stuff is truly not for everybody. And God does not have interest in everybody concerning his will, is what you gotta understand. No, he don't. And you people, you Christian people and all this stuff, you people are in for it, because more or less you guys, like, certain ones of you out there concerning this matter, you guys once again be forcing God and all this stuff on certain people. But you gotta understand that God is not interested in a lot of these different people and beings. I'm being very real. His judgment is on these certain individuals due to their motives towards him and all this deep stuff that God knows, is what I'm telling you. I'm not here to share everything concerning that either. I'm just here to be led by the Spirit of God concerning this stuff. But yeah, relationship with God is real. And yes, it's very just deep and very spiritual. Once again, relationship with God is spiritual. It's a spiritual connection with him, and he talks back and he shows you things and all this deep, deep, deep stuff. Yes, this is a real matter. And yes, he does have a real voice and all this stuff, and he wants his people to hear him and all this deep stuff. Yeah, of course, of course. But not everybody will be a part of this. No, because God knows who he wants to be a part of this and bring into this, and everybody else will just be outside of it, if I'm being real, and under God's judgment, because this stuff is not a game. And many of you people, like, you guys look up to all these certain speakers that are on their way to hell, because they are not giving you this type of matter concerning God. They're not, because a lot of these certain people have sold out to the devil. And I've already spoke on this many, many times as well. Yeah, this is a real matter, And yes, just getting back into relationship with God, you do not have to be perfect and all that stuff. No, but you do have to be pure. You do have to have a pure soul. For you certain individuals and beings, because this is not for everybody. You do have to love God too. You have to love him sincerely. You have to love him more than I want to say your sin too. That's the thing, because yes, even have a relationship with God, you still will have sin. Because being in the earth realm and all that deep stuff. Yes, and this is not for everybody, and all this stuff. But anyhow, your fleshly nature and all this stuff. Yeah, you will have certain sins for sure, But see, the thing is, that's why, as I'm being led by the Spirit of God, you have to love God more than your sin, more than all this other stuff, in order to have a relationship with him. Yes, you do. And yeah, I mean, you got to love God more than many, many things in order to really get a relationship with him. And God will like, more or less just like, he will deliver you from certain things, and then other things, like, he's not going to deliver you from being real. And this is where the relationship with him come in at, if I'm being real, because yeah, I mean, God is understanding for sure, and I know this due to my relationship with God and all that deep stuff. Yeah, but see, the thing is, you're not gonna fool God and all this stuff. No, you're not. I'm not, and anybody who thinks otherwise, like, I promise you, God is going to get many, many people, regardless of who you are hearing this. It doesn't matter who you are hearing this and all that stuff. But yeah, relationship with God is for his people. And honestly, it's for people who God has interest in. And everybody has a different type of relationship with God too. That's another thing when it comes to a relationship with God. But overall, it's a similar concept, but just different details and different ways that God communicates to people and certain beings too. Yeah, of course. Everybody's relationship with God is not going to look the same. It's not. It's truly not. And that's what these Christian people and all these certain religions they don't know these matters. And that's why they're on their way to hell, if I'm being real with you. They may think that all this other stuff, but no, a lot of these religious people and all this stuff, they're on their way to hell. I'm just being real. Certain majority of Christians, very few Christians will be a part of heaven, and in certain parts of heaven, and everybody else concerning these Christians and all this other stuff, they're going to be going to hell and all that stuff. And I know this by the Spirit of God. That's what I'm telling you. But yeah, relationship with God is it's truly not for everybody, and everybody will not have a relationship with God. No, it doesn't matter how much you talk about God to certain individuals and all this stuff. No, everybody will not have a relationship with God, and God does not want to have a relationship with everybody. No, he don't, because God sees the motives of people. He sees their true intentions towards him and all that deep stuff. And yeah, this stuff gets deep, but yeah, that's a little bit just about relationship with God. Yeah. So with all that being said, I'm out.